New character on the Chinese server. They are finally getting one of those exclusive characters we talked about last time. So let's talk a little bit about her kit. We translated it. We made a small picture so we can see easier, right, what she does and how she feels a little bit. But TLDR, okay, the Chinese server has a completely different meta, so this is not a good character for global. Like, if they come to global, which is already a big if, and I hope they do because she looks fantastic, all right. If they come to global, they need to change the kit, because this kit in global is not gonna be enough. She's not gonna be a character you use at all. That said, before we start, as usual, hello degenerates, welcome back to Rant and Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, the newly announced character for CN. She looks pretty good. I like her a lot. In terms of looks, fantastic. I like the other girl more, the other Chinese girl that they are getting. But this one is pretty nice. She has her weapon hidden in here. By the way, this is an assault rifle, but it looks like a pistol again. So I don't know if this is going to be the same situation as Jill, Ada, whoever it was. I think it was Jill. But yeah, she has her assault rifle hidden on her suitcase, and it looks more like a pistol than an assault rifle. The second time this happens, but whatever, it is what it is. Let's talk a little bit about her kit, what's going on, leave a like, subscribe, have me on the channel, and let's jump directly into the translations, and we can go and talk a little bit about this. So she's an attacker, B3, assault rifle, water character. I think they are both missiles. Do not quote me on this, because I am not 100% sure of that. 17% attack, and then 200% when attacking the core. That is actually higher than most assault rifles, I will say, nowadays. Or at least from what we have, no? What is this? Assault rifles. Bro, they need to add icons into these filters and just make it a little bit more comfortable to see. So, assault rifles, we come here. She has a 14%, 13%. So yeah, it's quite higher. I think it's closer to what Scarlet has. Yeah, 1791, 17.22. But then also again is different in contrast to the treasures we have, the characters we have, the passive we have. So I assume they will not follow the meta one-to-one what we have and the normal numbers we have. What the fuck is this weapon? Oh, okay. Pretty good. Is this new? First time I see this, not gonna lie. Okay, that's interesting. Just explaining a little bit of the weapon types. Alright, that's it. Pretty high base attack. Let's talk about her skills, because her skills are actually pretty nice as well. So if we go F11, we remove the sights so you guys can see it properly. Her skill 1 is personality replication. It's a passive. When the battle begins, affect self. Imitation duplicates 30% of the ally with the highest attack. So you're duplicating 30% attack of the ally with the highest attack continuously. And this is like Guilty. Guilty was back in the day the only character in Liberation that was actually good. It could be good depending on what characters you have, but it might not be enough at 30%. Then when performing 84 normal attacks affect self, imitation B, critical rate of normal attacks increased by 15% for 10 seconds. And when you land 50 critical hits, you're also going to be increasing your critical damage for 10 seconds by 21%. So once again, we get a crit-based character. You all know how crit is in NIKKE. It's still not a great stat. We still don't have enough buffers. The characters that we've got recently that were like purely focused on crit, like K and things like that, weren't that good. They are not bad characters, but they just cannot compete at the moment, right? Elemental is too strong, and Shift Up keeps making it too strong in order for you to ignore Elemental, ignore attack, and actually go full crit, unless you're going for something like your Snow White, min-maxing the lines, right? So, not an amazing skill, but the duplication of attack could be interesting, right? Skill 2 is another passive, Other Knowledge. Camouflage, when the battle begins, affects self. Requires longer reload time, but damage output is increased. So it will decrease the reload speed by 30%, but it will increase your attack damage by 35%, which is huge, by the way. And your critical rate of normal attacks by 12% continuously. So this is 100% uptime. This is a really good skill. A 35% attack damage on its own, it's fantastic. So it means like, yeah, the crit, you know, is not amazing, but now that you have this buff, this 35% attack damage, you're also duplicating 30% attack of another ally, and all of the crit buffs is a lot better. Now it looks a lot better, to be fair. Her second part of the skill 2, go down, she looks good, bro. The second part of skill 2, after 10 critical hits from normal attacks, affects self. This is not 10, by the way. This is, I'm pretty sure it's 18, not 10, and I forgot to change it. She will basically gain pierce for 1 round, normal attack damage multiplier increased by 2000% for 1 round, and then pierce damage increased 64%. So she becomes a mini Snow White or a mini Summer Doro if you wish, even though Summer Doro has 3 of those instead of 1. But the kit, honestly, considering what they have in CN, doesn't look that bad. I thought it was going to be worse because of the crit, but now that I'm actually going over the kit little by little, it looks a lot better. Just because this is skill too, because this is permanent. It's attack damage permanent, 35%. 30% duplicated attack from your highest character. So if you have a really high invested character, you're getting a lot of attack from there. And then all of the crit buffs. And the only bad thing is the reload speed buff, because it's a 30% reduce. But if you have something like Crown, for us, global, right? It's not that big of a deal nowadays. And then lastly, her burst, which is a 40-second for a B3, nothing new, right? It will grant different effects based on the current imitation state. And the current imitation state will be based on skill 1 right there. Most of the time, it's going to be imitation A, but considering when you get these effects, it's a 10-second move. Actually, you might kind of be big, because all of them are not that interesting, because if you see imitation A is 60% attack, I think that would be the best one to get, because critical rate only benefits your other skills. I mean, critical rate is nice because it could actually help you be doing more of these one-shots, right? And then the effect C, the critical damage, I think is probably the worst one. Effect A and effect B would be the best case scenario. Effect C is kind of like, yeah, it's 43% increase crit damage, which if it lines up with one of these one shots is good, but you need to be critting consistently enough to take advantage of that 43%. So I don't love her burst, but I do like her skills 1 and 2 a lot. I think it honestly is not even gonna be that bad. On CN it's gonna be really strong. Anything with a 35% attack damage modifier is really good in CN. You're just gonna be going with max ammo for her, as much ammo as possible. You run resilient to offset a little bit that. Then you also have a 17% base attack damage on her weapon, which is the highest on CN probably outside of a Scarlet for any assault rifle. I still think if we get this on global, it might not be enough, but the 30% duplication, if you're putting her with your strongest damage dealer, that actually might be pretty good, because she's gonna be duplicating what? From my Scarlet, I have 300k combat power, 30% of that plus the 35% attack damage. Yeah, no, honestly, even if we get this on global, it could be decent, but I don't think it would be enough to actually be meta, or most people be considering pulling for her, right? The other thing and the other concern people have is how are they gonna be presenting this character global, because obviously this is a Chinese character, right? And the Chinese server has a different story a little bit, and some theme has been changed to fit the CCP agenda. But I still want to get these characters into our server. I believe every server should have the same characters, regardless of the changes they are making to one version or the other. But enough ranting. I would love if we get these characters. I don't know what the plan is with exclusive units on one server or the other. We will see as time goes by. I hope if they do come out, by the way, her name seems to be Liao Sai. I hope if they do come out, it doesn't take 30 years. And it's, you know, just a few months of delay between what we're getting and what they're getting. That said, enough jumping, enough ranting. As usual, we are live every single day. Links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool dinner, and I'll see you in the next one.